Radiation heat transfer. We considered the fundamental aspect of radiation and the radiation properties of surface. We are now in a position to consider radiation exchange between two or more surfaces, which is primary quantity of interest in most radiation problems. We start this chapter with a discussion of view factors and the rule associated with them. View factor expressions and charts for some common configuration are given. We then discuss radiation heat transfer, first between black surface and then between non-black surface using radiation network approach. The view factor. Radiation heat transfer between surface depends on the orientation of the surface related to each other as well as their radiation properties and temperature. For example, a camper will make the most use of a campfire on a cold night by standing as close to the fire as possible, by blocking as much radiation coming from the fire, by turning her front in the fire instead of her back. You can see here surface 2 will receive the least radiation while 3 will receive the maximum radiation from this source. To count for the factor orientation or radiation heat transfer between two surfaces, we define a new parameter called view factor, which is a purely geometric quantity and is independent of surface properties and temperature. It is also called the shape factor, configuration factor and angle factor. The view factor based on assumption that the surfaces are diffuse emitters and diffuse reflectors is called diffuse view factor, and the view factor based on assumption that the surfaces are diffuse emitters but specular reflectors is called specular view factor. In this book we will consider radiation exchange between diffuse surface only, and thus the term view factor will simply mean diffuse view factor. The view factor from a surface I to surface J is denoted by Fij, means the fraction of radiation leaving the surface I that strikes surface J directly, which is Fij, and F21 represent the fraction of the radiation leaving the surface 2 that strike surface 1 directly. Note that the radiation that strike a surface does not need to be absorbed by the surface. To develop a general expression for view factor, consider two differential surface dA1 and dA2 on two arbitrary alternate surfaces with area A1 and area A2. The distance between dA1 and dA2 is say r, and the angles between the normal of the surface and the line that contacts dA1 dA2 is equal to theta 1 and theta 2, where this is the normal to dA2 and this is the angle line joining the two surfaces. Surface 1 emits and reflects radiation diffusely in all directions with a constant intensity I1, and the solid angle subtended by dA2 when viewed by dA1 is d omega 21. The rate at which radiation leaves dA1 in the direction of theta 1 is I1 cos theta 1 dA1. So means this radiation is your I1 cos theta 1 a dA1. Noting that d omega 2 in this case is equal to dA2 cos theta 2 by r square, the portion of the radiation that strikes dA2. Now heat transfer from dA1 to dA2 is I1 cos theta 1 dA1 multiply with this angle d omega 21, which is equal to, in this case, is this. The total radiation at which radiation leaves dA1 in all directions is the radiosity, which is J1 is equal to pi I1 times the surface area. So Q dA1 is equal to J1 dA1, which is equal to pi I1 dA1. Differential view factor, which is a dA1 to dA2, is described as ratio of this Q dA1 to dA2 to the Q dA1. So this is your differential factor, which is this in this case. The view factor from a differential area dA1 to a finite area A2 means this dA1 surface to this A2 surface. The view factor in this case is equal to the sum of small area. If you divide this small area, and if in nutshell if you integrate this view factor over whole surface area, you will get view factor between dA1 and A2. So means if you integrate this view factor, differential view factor over whole area A2, you will get dA1 to A2. The total rate at which the radiation leaves the entire area A1, this whole area, is equal to Ka1, which is equal to J1 A1 pi I1 A1. The portion of this radiation that strikes Da2 is determined by considering the radiation that leaves Da1 and strikes Da2 and integrate it over A1. Now this is the radiation emitted by Da1 and received by Da2. If you integrate it over A1, you will get this equation. So if you integrate this, you will get radiation emitted by A1 surface and delivered to Da2 surface. You will get this. Now integration of the above relation over A2 gives the relation that radiation emitted by A1 surface and radiation emitted by A2 surface. So when you integrate this over A2, you will get this relation. Now take this equation and divide by Q A1, which is the total radiation emitted by A1 surface. So this will give you a view factor FA1 to A2, or you can write as 1 to F12. The view factor FA2 to A1 is readily determined from this equation, but just changing the subscript of this 1 with 2, you will get this F21. I1 is constant, R, theta 1, theta 2 are variable. So when you combine this equation with this equation, means only both equations are same, only different is A1 and A2. So this take this A2 on this side and A1 on this side and then equate. You will get A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21, which is known as reciprocity relation for view factors. The view factor relations 12 are applicable to any two surface I and J, provided as surface are diffusive emitters and diffuse reflectors. So I to J, the fraction of radiation leaving surface I that strikes itself directly, means I to I. It means F1 to 1 is 0. In this case, plane surface. In convex surface, it is also 2 to 2 is 0. But in this case, you can see the radiation emitted by this portion of surface will be received by the other portion of the same surface. So in this case, F33 not is equal to 0. The value of view factor range between 0 and 1. The limiting case when I to 0, I to j is 0 means that two surfaces do not have any direct view of each other, and thus radiation leaving by surface 1 I cannot strike the j directly. The other limiting case is Fij is equal to 1, indicates that the surface j completely surrounds surface I. You can see here, this is one surface, this is second. So here surface 2 is surrounding surface 1. So what are radiation emitted by 1 will be received by the second surface completely. So view factor for 100 of common geometries are evaluated and results are given in table in the form you can see here. This is a line parallel rectangle, two rectangles. So Fi to j, this is coaxial parallel disc. The view factor I to j is this, where symbol has their usual meaning. This is in case of perpendicular rectangle with common edges. View factor expressions for some infinitely long 2D geometries, that is Wi I and Wj. This distance is L. So Fij can be found from here, where Wil is here, Wi, and Wj is equal to Wj by L. So inclined planes of equal width with a constant h alpha and perpendicular plates with a common h. This is the view factor with 3-sided enclosure. This is the view factor. Infinite plane and row cylinder. This is the view factor here. This is your infinite plane and this is row of cylinders. So we have to find the view factor. View factor between two aligned parallel surface rectangles of equal size. So there are two rectangles separated by distance d with the length L1 and L2. So this is the ratio L2 by d and this is the ratio L1 by d. This value are corresponding to this ratio, and this is f12. So you can see this is your view factor. In this case, two line parallel rectangles. This is in case of perpendicular plates, two plates perpendicular to each other, common edge. So in this case, L1, L2 is here, and W and A1, where A1 and A2 is the area of the plate. This is a view factor between two coaxial parallel discs separated by L distance with radius R1 and R2. So this view factor is for 1 to 2 from this to this, and between L by R1 for various value of L by R1, and these lines represent R2 by L ratio. So here is the view factor for two concentric cylinder of different length. So in this graph, it is outer cylinder to inner, means outer cylinder to inner. So this is R1 by R2 ratio. You can also know if R1 becomes equal to R2, it means inner cylinder become equal to outer cylinder. In that case, your F21 becomes equal to 1, because whole radiation, or as you can say emitted by this outer cylinder, will be absorbed by inner cylinder. So this is outer cylinder to itself, means if the size of this cylinder is small, some part of radiation emitted by this surface will be received by the same surface itself. So this is between R1 and R2. You can see if R1 and R2 are equal, then the radiation received by cylinder itself is 0. You can see at this point it is 0, because when inner cylinder become equal to outer cylinder, the outer cylinder won't able to receive its own radiation. It will be absorbed by the inner cylinder. The reciprocity relation, the view factor of I to J and J to I are not equal to each other unless the areas of two surfaces are. So that is J to I is equal to I to J only if I is equal to J. Otherwise they are not equal if surface is not equal. The summation rule. The radiation analysis of surface normally requires the consideration of the radiation coming in or going out in all directions. Therefore, most radiation problems encountered in practice involve enclosed spaces. When formulating the radiation problem, we usually form an enclosure consisting of surface interacting radiatively. Even openings are treated as imaginary surface with radiation properties equivalent to those of opening. The conservation energy principle requires that the entire radiation leaving any surface I of an enclosure be intercepted by a surface of enclosure. Therefore, sum of the view factors from eyes of an enclosure to all surface of the enclosure, including itself, must equal to unity. This is known as summation rule, means Fi to J, where J will vary from 1 to n. So this is surface I. So these are, you can see, radiation leaving any surface I of enclosure must be intercepted completely by the surface of the enclosure. Therefore, sum of the view factors from I to each one of the surface of enclosure must be unity. Means if you take the sum, it must be equal to 1. So this summation rule is helpful in reducing the number of view factors. So by using reciprocity theorem and this summation rule, let's take an example. For 6 surface enclosure, we need to determine 15 view factors of total 6 raised to power 2, which is 36 view factors. Means with this equation and reciprocity rule, we have to find only 15 view factors instead of 36. The remaining 21 view factors can be determined from the 21 equations that are obtained by applying the reciprocity and summation rules. The superposition rule. Sometimes view factor associated with the given geometry is not available in standard table and charts. In such cases, it is desirable to express the given geometry as a sum or difference of such geometries with the known view factor, and then to apply superposition rule, which can be expressed as the view factor from a surface I to a surface J is equal to the sum of the view factor from surface I to the parts of surface J. So notice that the reverse of this is not true. That is, the view factor from a surface J to surface I is not equal to the sum of the view factor from the parts of surface J to surface I. Let's say example, you have this one surface 2 and 3. We have to find view factor from 1 to surface 2, 3. So it can be written as from 1 to 2 and for 1 to 3. Now there is no as such geometry or in the table given for 1 to 3 view factor. So what we will do, we will find from 1 to 2, 3 combinedly. We will find from 1 to 2, 3 combinedly, and because this is a two parallel plates perpendicular to each other, and we can solve for 1 to 2, which is also case of perpendicular plates. If you know this value you can find view factor 1 f 1 to 3 easily. Second is, if you multiply this equation by area A1, you will get this equation. Now apply the reciprocity relation, which is interchange this subscript, which is 1 with the 2 and 3, and this change it, interchange, and change this value also. You will get this relation by reciprocal relation. Now from this relation you can find easily f2 3 to 1, means from this plate to this plate you can find the view factor, which is f2 3 to 1, which is this one. So areas that are expressed as a sum of the more than two parts can be handled in a similar manner. The symmetry rule, here you can see a plate and these two plates are symmetric about this plate. So it means if you know 1 to 2 view factor, the same can be for 1 to 3 also. So therefore symmetry rule can be expressed as a two surface that possess symmetry about a third surface will have identical view factor from that surface, means fi to j is equal to fi to k. And if you apply reciprocity theorem, because the surfaces are same, so j to I is equal to k to I is also true in this case. Radiation heat transfer, black surfaces. So far we have considered the nature of radiation, the radiation properties of materials, and the view factor, and we are now in position to consider the rate of heat transfer between surfaces by radiation. The analysis of radiation exchange between surfaces in general is complicated because of reflection. A radiation beam leaving a surface may be reflected several times, with partial reflection occurring at each surface and before it is completely absorbed. The analysis is simplified greatly when the surfaces involved can be approximated as black bodies because of the absence of reflection. In this section we consider radiation exchange between two black surfaces. This is one surface, two surface with area A1, A2. Now heat is transferred from one surface to 2. That is radiation leaving the entire surface 1 that strike the 2 minus radiation leaving the entire surface 2 that strike surface 1. So Q12 is equal to A1 EB is your, that is radiation leaves a black body, which is EB per unit surface area, and F12 is UV factor from 1 to 2 minus for this surface it is A2 EB2 F21. Now apply the reciprocity relation. We know this A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. So it means taking this out of the bracket A1 F12 sigma, it will become T14 minus T24, which is the desired relation. A negative value of Q12 indicates that net radiation heat transfer is from surface 2 to 1. We can generalize this for n black surfaces maintained at specific temperature. The net radiation heat transfer from any surface I of this enclosure is determined by adding up the net radiation heat transfer from I to each of the surface. You can generalize, you can write instead of 1, you can generalize it I and j. It is I to j sigma Ti raised to power 4 minus T j raised to power 4. Again the negative value of Q indicates the net radiation heat transfer is to surface I. Surface I gains radiation energy instead of losing. Also the net heat transfer from the surface to itself is 0 regardless of the shape of the surface. Radiation heat transfer, diffuse gray surface. The analysis of radiation heat transfer enclosure consisting of black surface is relatively easy as we have seen above, but most enclosure encountered in practice involve non-black surfaces which allow multiple reflections to occur. Radiation analysis of such enclosures become very complicated unless some simplifying jumps are made. To make simple radiation analysis possible, it is common to assume the surface of an enclosure to opaque, diffuse and gray, that is the surface are non-transparent. They are diffuse emitters and diffuse reflectors, and their radiation properties are independent of wavelength. Also, each surface of enclosure is isothermal, and both the incoming and outgoing radiation are uniform over each surface. So, radiosity, surface emit radiation as well as reflect it, and thus the radiation leaving a surface consists of emitted and reflected parts. The calculation of radiation heat transfer between surface involves the total radiation energy streaming away from surface with no regard for its origin. The total radiation energy leaving a surface per unit time and per unit area is radiosity and is denoted by J. So this is your radiosity, which is reflected radiation and emitted radiation. Now for surface I, that is gray and opaque, we know emissivity is equal to absorptivity, and absorptivity plus your reflectivity is equal to 1. The radiosity can be expressed as J is equal to radiation emitted by surface I plus radiation reflected by surface I. Now radiation incident on this surface is G, irradiation which is now reflected is equal to your reflectivity into G, which is this, and emitted radiation we know emissivity to EB. EB is for black body. So now you can place this value from here. From this relation you can place it by 1 minus emissivity. So where EBI is equal to sigma Ti is the black body emissive power of surface I, and Gi is the irradiation. Now if you consider this to be black body, this surface, then this emissivity will become 1 and this relation will reduce to this, which is again emissive power of black body. The radiosity of black body is equal to the emissive power. Net radiation heat transfer to or from a surface. During radiation interaction, a surface loses energy by emitting radiation and gains energy by absorbing radiation emitted by other surface. A surface experiences a net gain or net loss of energy depending on which quantity is larger. You can see this example. The radiosity minus incident radiation will give you the net rise in the energy of the surface. So you will write here that is the radiation leaving the surface, which is Gi radiosity, and radiation on the entire surface, which is your Gi irradiation multiplied by area of the surface. Now put Gi in this equation. From this relation you can take this parameter on this side and you will get Gi, which is irradiation. So on solving you will get this relation here. Now if you compare this relation with the electrically analogy of Ohm's law, the equation can be rewritten in this form. If you compare this relation with this relation, it is clearly visible. This term is your resistance, is the surface resistance to radiation. So this is your, you can compare this relation. This is heat transfer in the form of radiation, and resistance in this case is this. So the quantity EBI minus J correspond to potential difference, and the net rate of radiation heat transfer correspond to current in electrical analogy. The direction of net radiation heat transfer depends on relative magnitude of Ji, this term, and EBI. It will from the surface if EBI greater than Ji, and it will towards the surface if Ji is greater than EBI, or it is negative, that is toward the surface. The surface resistance to radiation for a black body is 0, since emissivity is equal to 1 and Gi is equal to EBI. The net rate of radiation heat transfer in this case is determined from this equation directly. There is one more concept, that is a surface which has to maintain a constant temperature must radiate the heat. Also, some surface encountered in numerous practical heat transfer applications are modeled as being adiabatic, since their backside are well insulated and net heat transfer through them is 0. When the convection effects on the front side of surface is negligible and steady state conditions are reached in surface, the surface must lose as much radiation energy as it gains. It means Q is equal to 0. In such case, surface is said to irradiate all the radiation energy it received, and such a surface is called radiating surface. Setting chi is equal to 0. If you get this equal to 0, what you will get? EBI is equal to GI. So this relation. Therefore, temperature of free radiating surface under steady condition can be easily determined from this relation. If you know the radiosity, this factor J, you can find temperature easily. And the temperature of radiating surface is independent of its emissivity also. In the radiation analysis, the surface resistance of a radiating surface is discarded since there is no net heat transfer through it. This is like the fact that there is no need to consider resistance in electric circuit network if no current is flowing through it. Net radiation heat transfer between N two surface. Consider two diffuse grey and opaque surface of orbital shape maintained at uniform temperature. Recognize that the radiosity J represents the rate of radiation leaving the surface per unit area and that the V factor Fij represents the fractional radiation leaving surface I that strike the surface J. The net rate of radiation heat transfer from surface I to J is radiation leaving the entire surface I and strike J minus radiation leaving the entire surface J that strikes surface I. So it is area I into Ji, which is your radiation leaving the surface I. Fi is your V factor from I to J, and minus this Aj, the surface area of this J surface. Jj is your radiation leaving the surface J, this surface, and Fji is your V factor from J to I. Now apply reciprocity theorem. We know you can interchange I and J. These two are equal. Product of A and F, these are equal if you interchange I and J. And you can put this value here, Ai, Fi, you can place here, and these will come out of the bracket and you will get this relation here. Now if you compare again with the Ohm's law, which is Ji minus Jj divided by Rij, in this case your resistance is equal to 1 by Ai Fij. Is the space resistance to radiation. Again the quantity Gi minus Jj represent the potential difference, and the net rate of heat transfer between two surfaces correspond to current in the electrical analogy. So this is your resistance here, which is 1 by Ai Fij. You can generalize this relation here for n number of surface, and if you compare again with the electrical, or you can say this analogy, you will get this resistance, which is Ij. Now this is surface I, these are n surface to which radiation is transferred. So in this case your resistance is Ri, then Ri1, I2, In-1 and In so on. This is for n surface enclosure case. Now the conservation energy principle requires that the net heat transfer from surface I be equal to the sum of the net heat transfer from I to each of n surface of the enclosure. So also Qi to I, the net rate of heat transfer from a surface to itself is 0 regardless of the shape of the surface, how many number of enclosure it does have, so it is 0. So means this formula, you can take this formula here, it means this heat transfer must be 0, means this is equal to 0. You can put this value here, which will give you this equation, which has electrical analogy interpretation that the net radiation flow from a surface through its surface resistance is equal to the sum of radiation flows from the surface to all other surfaces through the corresponding space resistance, which is this. Method of solving radiation problems. In radiation analysis of an enclosure, either the temperature of the net rate of heat transfer must be given for each of surface to obtain a unique solution for the unknown surface temperature and heat transfer rates. There are two methods commonly used to solve radiation problems. In the first method, heat transfer rate is specified. For second method, temperatures are specified. In this case, heat transfer is specified In this case, if you put the value of E by EBI, that is emissive power of black body, which is equal to, in this case, sigma Ti raised to power 4, and rearrange this equation and put the value of R resistance, which is in this case is this, you will get this equation. Now note Qi is equal to 0 for insulated surface, this term is equal to 0, and sigma Ti raised to power 4 is equal to Gi for black surface when your emissivity is equal to 1. Also the term corresponding to Gi is equal to I will drop out from either relation. Gi minus Jj is equal to Gi minus Ji is equal to 0 in this case. The equations above give n linear solutions. This will give you n linear solutions for the determination of n unknown radiosities for an n surface enclosure. Once the radiosity J1, J2, Jn are available, the unknown heat transfer rates can be determined from equation, while the unknown surface temperature can be determined from this equation. So this equation, you can, if you know radiosity, you can find unknown temperature, which is this, and if you from this equation you can find heat transfer if Gi and Jj are given. So this can be solved with the help of solvers such as EES, MathCAD and MATLAB, especially when there are large number of surface, and is known as direct method. The second method is called network method, is based on electrical network analogy. Radiation heat transfer in two surface enclosure. Consider enclosure consisting of two uppercase surface at specified temperature T1. So from this point to this is your first surface, this point to this is second surface. So temperature is T1, here is T2, respective area and emissivity is given. Now there are only two surfaces in enclosure, thus heat transfer from first surface to second must be equal to heat transfer from first surface must be equal to heat gained by second surface, or heat transfer to the second surface, means heat transfer from this surface to this surface must be equal to heat lost by this surface and heat gained by this surface, which is this. The radiation network of this surface enclosure consists of two surface resistance of this surface and one the resistance of space. So this is resistance R1, which is 1 minus emissivity by A1 E1, and this is R12 and this is R2 resistance. In an electrical network, the electric current flowing through these resistors connected in series would be determined by dividing the potential difference between points A and B. The total resistance between the same points, the net rate of radiation transfer is determined from the same manner as expressed. So Q12 is equal to EB1 minus EB2 divided by total resistance, which is in this case is this. If you put the value of EB1 and EB2, the view factor F12 depends on the geometry and must be determined first. Simplified forms of equation. This equation for familiar arrangements are given. You can see here, this is enclosed space. One surface is this A2 and second surface area is A1, such that A1 is very small as compared to A2. So in this case your view factor is F12 is equal to 1. So heat transfer is equal to area, emissivity, Stephen Boltzmann constant into temperature difference raised to power 4. And then for infinitely large plate, again in this case your view factor is 1. These plates are very large, so in this case your heat transfer is this. Infinitely long cylinder, in this your A1 by A2 ratio is given. View factor is also 1 because the cylinders are very long. So this is your heat transfer. In this case view factor is 1. In this case there are two concentric cylinders. So in this case the A1 by A2 is given, and F12 means heat transfer from first surface to second is, in this case view factor is 1. So this is your heat transfer. Radiation heat transfer in three surface enclosure. The three endpoint potential EB1, EB2 and EB3 are considered known. So these you had three potentials, one this EB1, EB2 and EB3. So this we have three surface here with these properties are given. Now this resistance is due to the resistance on surface. This resistance is due to the resistance of this surface, and this resistance for this surface. And this here you had the junction here. Now in this case, the three equations for the determination of these three unknowns are obtained from the requirement that the algebraic sum of the currents at each node must be equal to 0. Means at this node J1, J2 and J3, these respective nodes, their respective current must be 0. So if you have this condition, you can find J1, J2 and J3. Now use this equation. Here say we had JI junction. So use this equation for JI junction. Same you can use for J1, J2 and J3. Now heat into the junction is equal to this towards J1 junction. This is your heat in EBI minus J1 by R1. Now heat leaving this junction, this can be defined by J2 minus J1 divided by thermal resistance, which is this J2 minus J1 by R12, and your heat leaving this can be also written as J3 minus J1 by resistance. So J3 minus J1 by resistance. In actual case, you have to take heat in is equal to heat out. Now in this case, heat out is actually J1 minus J2, but when you equate heat in is equal to heat out on this side, and on rearranging it will become J2 minus J1, because heat always from higher to lower side, means J1 must be more than J2, then your heat will be flow. So this equation is on this side, and on rearranging you will get here. The same you can write for J2, that heat coming towards J2 must be equal to heat leaving. So heat coming towards J2 is equal to, depends on these two factors, this, and heat leaving. So this is your heat leaving. So writing these three equations for heat coming and heat going, you will get this equation. Now write the same for this 3 junction J3. Now in this case, now in third case, you can see Q3 direction is towards J3, Q13 is direction towards J3, and Q23 direction towards J3. So when you write this equation for this J3 junction, which is J1 minus J3 divided by resistance, J2 minus J3 divided by resistance, and EB3 minus J3 divided by resistance, and this must be equal to 0 for this junction J3. Now if radiosity J1, J2, J3 are given, you can find the net radiation heat transfer at each surface from equation. From this equation you can find the net rate of heat transfer if J1 and JIA is given. So three equation will also simplified if one or more surface are specified at some way. For example, if Gi is equal to E by E is equal to sigma T raised to power 4 for black or re-radiating surface, and also heat transfer is equal to 0 for re-radiating surface. Finally, when the net rate of radiation heat transfer is specified at surface instead of the temperature, the term Na should be replaced by the specified Qi, means you can replace this term with the heat transfer. Now you can solve these equations because variables and equations are same. If there are 3 unknowns, 3 variables, you can solve it. Radiation heat transfer in cylindrical furnace. Consider a cylindrical furnace with radius 1 meter, height 1 meter. The top surface and bottom surface of the furnace has emissivity is given 0.8 and 0.4. Temperature is 700 for top, for bottom is equal to 500 Kelvin. The side surface closely approximates a black body and is maintained at a temperature of 400 Kelvin. Determine the net radiation heat transfer at each surface during study operation and explain how these surfaces can be maintained at specified temperature. Now we will solve this problem systematically using the direct method to demonstrate its use. The cylindrical method furnace can be considered to be 3 surface enclosure with the surface areas. This is A1 and A2, A3. You can find these surface areas from A1 is equal to A2 is equal to this, and this is surface area which is 2 pi RL. In this case it is 6.28 meter square. Now the view factor, which is F12 from 1 to 2, can be found by using the method of two parallel plates. Now these are two coaxial parallel discs. Now in this equation, put R is equal to 1, put these both values is equal to 1, and you will get as 3, and put the 3 value here, where Rj by Ri is equal to 1 also. And when you solve this equation, you will get view factor F12, which is 0.38 in this case when you solve it. Now it is 0.38. The view factor from the base of the side surface is determined by applying summation rule. We know this equation F11 plus F12 and plus F123 must is equal to 1. This is for an enclosed surface. So we know the F12, put the value of F12, and view factor of first surface with respect to 1 is equal to 0, because this is flat surface. So this is plane surface. From plane surface F11 is equal to 0. So put this value 0, put this value 0.38. You will get F13 is equal to 0.62. So noting that this top surface and bottom surface are symmetric about this side surface. So F21 must be equal to F12, which is equal to 0.38, and F23 must is equal to 13. F23 is equal to F13. F13 we had already calculated, so F23 must be same. Now the view factor F31 is determined from the reciprocity relation, that is A1 F13 is equal to A3 F31. So you will get F31 as 0.331, and view factor from this surface F3 to 1 must be same as 3 to 2. So we know here view factor of F31, which is 0.31. So 31 must be 32 is equal to same because of symmetry. Now all view factors are available. We can define reducities. Now when surface temperature is specified Ti, you can use this equation. Now for top surface, put I is equal to 1 into the equation, and J is equal to 2 and 3. Here put I is equal to 1, 1, 1, 1, and J is equal to from 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Here number of surfaces are 3. So 2 terms will come here. One is from 1 to 2, second is from 1 to 3. You will get equation. You will get this equation for top surface I is equal to 1, and for bottom surface I is equal to 2. You will get this equation, and for side surface I is equal to 3. You will get this equation, because side surface is black and thus emissivity is equal to 1. It is mentioned that this side surface is your black. Now temperature for surface is given T1, T2, T3. This is given. You can see 700, 500 and 400. Put in the equation. You will get 3 equations with 3 unknowns, which is J1, J2, J3. Solve these 3 equations. You will get J1, J2 and J3. Now when you know Ji and Jj, you know view factor, you can find heat transfer for all surface. We had already calculated J1, J2, J3. Put into this, you will get heat transfer. So this is the equation for heat transfer from one surface. J1, J2, J3 known, F12 and F13 known. You will get this. Then same for the second surface, and right for the third surface. So in this equation you can see this is positive, these two are negative. So it means the direction of net heat transfer is from top surface to both this surface, and algebraic sum of these 3 quantities must be equal to 0. It means to maintain the surface at a specified temperature, we must supply heat to the top surface continuously at a rate of this 27.6 kilowatt, while removing this and this from the side surface. So this is steady operation. It means we have to maintain this temperature fixed. So we have to continuously supply heat to this surface, and we have to maintain the temperature of this surface and this surface at this and this temperature which is lower. It means we have to constantly remove the heat from this surface as well as this surface. Radiation shields and the radiation effect. Radiation heat transfer between two surfaces can be reduced greatly by inserting a thin, high reflectivity, low emissivity sheet of material between two surfaces. Such highly reflective thin plates or shells are called radiation shields. So radiation shields are also used in temperature measurement of fluids to reduce error caused by radiation effect when the temperature sensor is exposed to surfaces that are much hotter or colder than the fluid itself. The role of radiation shield is to reduce the rate of radiation heat transfer by placing additional resistance in the path of radiation heat flow. So these are two parallel plates 1 and 2 and this is your radiation shield. So heat is transferred from first plate to two plate and this shield will used to decrease, or you can say decrease the heat transfer rate between those two plates. You can see this is the resistance of this plate itself. This is the resistance of this due to this gap, and this is the resistance of this side of the plate. This is the resistance of this side of the plate. This is the resistance due to this air gap, and this is the resistance of this surface. Now suppose there is no shield, then heat transfer from 1 to 2 shield is equal to this divided by 1 by E1 plus 1 by E2 minus 1. You can this for infinitely large parallel plates, if A1 T1 emissivity is given, this is the heat transfer. We had assumed it infinitely large plates. Now the radiation network of this geometry is constructed as usual by drawing a surface resistance associated with each surface and connecting these surface resistance with space resistance. The resistors are connected in series. You can see this all resistors in series. So this is the all resistance connected in series here. This is first resistance, second, third, fourth and so on. Now in this case A1 is equal to A2 is equal to A3 because we have infinite parallel plates, and F1 is equal to F23 is equal to 1. So this is your view factor. So if you put this value 1 here, 1, you will get this equation where the terms in the second set of parentheses in the denominator represent the additional resistance to radiation introduced by the shield. Now if you compare two equations, this is heat transfer without shield and this is heat transfer with one shield. The extra term which comes into the denominator side is your this term as compared to this equation and this equation. This is your extra term which is came into picture due to the shield, radiation shield for one shield. If you generalize this for n shield, we can write in this form. For n shields, we can generalize this term. We can add additional resistance. If you add additional resistance or additional shield, you will get this, and for n shields, these terms will be up to n. Now say special case in which emissivity of all surface is same. Means emissivity of this surface E1 is equal to E2 is equal to E31. E31 is your this surface and E32 is your this surface, because this shield had two surfaces. So if these two are equal and these emissivities are equal, you will get on simplification this equation. So when emissivity become equal, you will get this N1 plus 1 into this. These are number of shield. This is already in the term. You can see this is without any shield and these are with shields. So this will become N plus 1 into this. This will become resistance. Now if you compare this equation for N shields with this equation, you will get a relation, that is Q heat transfer for N shield is equal to 1 by N plus heat transfer for no shield. Now if there is one shield, means N is equal to 1, the heat transfer with shield is equal to half of the heat transfer with no shield, and if N is equal to 2, 3 and so on. So the one shield reduce the radiation heat transfer to 1/2 and 9 shield reduce it to 1/10. If you put here 9, the radiation heat transfer for 9 shield is equal to 1/10 of without shield, and if you put 90 shields it will reduce to 1/20th and so on. The equilibrium temperature of radiation shield T3 Means for this T3 you have to find the temperature of this shield from this relation, that Q12 is equal to Q13 is equal to Q33 when steady conditions are reached. Means first you will find Q12. You can evaluate Q12 from this equation. If T1 and T2 is given and emissivities are given, you can find Q12. If you have Q12, you can equate with this equation Q13, and this Q13 involves T3, and you can find by equating these two equations, you can find T3. Radiation effect on temperature measurement. A temperature measuring device indicates the temperature of its sensor, which is supposed to be, but it not necessarily, the temperature of medium that the sensor is in. When a thermometer or any other temperature measuring device such as thermocouple is placed in a medium, heat transfer takes place between the sensor of the thermometer and medium by convection until the sensor reaches the temperature of the medium. So there is a heat transfer by convection from the medium to the thermometer. But when sensor is surrounded by surface that are at a different temperature than the fluid, means this is surface TW, the radiation exchange will take place between sensor and the surrounding. So this is your radiation exchange between this sensor and surrounding. So when heat transfer by convection and radiation balance each other, the sensor will indicate a temperature that falls between fluid and surface temperature. Below we develop procedure to account for the radiation effect. So radiation effect will cause thermometer temperature to show less value as compared to the actual temperature if there is a radiation exchange between this surface, or it can show a higher value if this surface is at a higher temperature than the fluid surface. You can say temperature of the fluid. So now in this case your convection to the sensor must be equal to the radiation in case of equilibrium case. So this convection is equal to radiation. Convection is equal to TF minus temperature of thermometer, and radiation is equal to temperature of thermometer minus temperature of wall into emissivity of thermometer into Stephen Boltzmann constant. From here you will find the temperature of TF in terms of thermometer plus this. Now temperature of fluid must be equal to thermometer if there is no radiation effect. So this factor is called, which is extra here, it is called the radiation effect and represent the radiation correction. Note that the radiation correction term is most significant when the convection heat transfer coefficient is small. So if HA value is lower, so this overall value is significant. In case of lower convection, this factor is large, you have to consider it. Therefore the sensor should be coated with a material of high reflectivity, low emissivity to reduce the radiation effect. Means if this sensor is coated with a material which is having low emissivity, you can reduce this factor and you can eliminate the error, which can be done with the help of a material of high reflectivity and low emissivity. The second method is placing the sensor in a radiation shield without interfering with the fluid flow, also reduce the radiation effect. The sensor of temperature measurement device used outdoor must be protected from direct sunlight, since the radiation effect in that case is sure to reach unacceptable levels.